And then Tom Ott was like, hey, smart man, there's this group called the Calhoun County Coalition for Inclusion that works for, LGBTQ teens. And there's this program director, community organizer named Lilyanna who is heading up that work, and you should meet. And we sat together. Was it at Malia's? Yeah, I think it was at Malia's. And for the first time, I was not scared. For the first time, I was not scared. So, Koinonia, please welcome Lilyanna Reyes.
How is everyone? So I'm really emotionally it's a bittersweet moment right now because the last time I was here was in 2009, which is a long time ago. And this congregation has grown. I remember being really nervous because I didn't really do church as well back then. I'm former Catholic. So are there any former Catholics here? So you know what it's like. It's not easy. I personally have the strongest spirituality within me, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. I'm transgender. I came out when I was 17. I started transitioning. I have very little support. But I was an activist, and college is what grounded me and made me believe who I was. And who I was okay. Studying different religions, finding people who truly believed. And I'm from Saginaw, so I went to U of M Flint. Upon graduation, I get this job offer in Battle Creek to head up LGBT initiative. I'm like, isn't that a really conservative city for a transgender woman of color who's 6 feet tall and wears really long nails? Like, okay, I'll try it. So I came here and I'm like, okay. In 2009, there was not as much LGBT initiative here. They were just finishing the Kalamazoo ordinance. And I'm thinking 15, 20 minutes away from Kalamazoo, it should be some type of connection. It wasn't. It stopped at Portage. It was completely not what I thought it was. And I remember going into the work like I really have to find people and allies. And some of the first allies I met was Tom and then Emily. And I remember Emily because she was so vibrant and so forceful and so like me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I don't feel alone here anymore. And I remember getting settled and trying to find GSA people and heading up this community coalition that had all these big dreams. But I also know how policy and politics work, and I knew that it would be a long road. I was here when this church adopted a diversity inclusion group, and then they decided that they unanimously decided that they were going to be LGBT inclusive. I remember that, and I remember pieces of that. So when I left Battle Creek, I was really sad. I was really sad because it was a place that I had grown to love. It was a place that we used to go once a week to Sweetwater. Sweetwater's Donuts, are they still here? Okay, so we used to go there, and we used to have the gayest night at Sweetwater's, and we used to play games and be really queer. And I remember the first night we did it, there was like 50 people. It was more, they couldn't, and so we saw the community needed it. We had our youth prom in this big archway it was Christmas time, so there was a huge tree and it was so beautiful. And this was the first time ever in my life that I had seen a church so proud to embrace LGBT diversity. And it's because of this church that it has allowed me to further my career with so many churches across Flint, Detroit, Saginaw, and say, no, they do it though. And they do it proud, and they do it with integrity and authenticity. And so it's really, really emotional here today because when I left Battle Creek was 6 years ago. And I ended up getting my master's. And as a trans woman of color, that was really, really, really big to me. Thank you. But I knew that when I got my master's, I couldn't just be one of those people to get a master's and help to make a lot of money and live carefree. I knew I had to give back, so I went into social work. And so I wanted to continue the work that I did here. So where like the roller coaster and so much spirituality happened was I lost my mom a year after I left Battle Creek. And she was my biggest supporter, my biggest ally, and actually today's her birthday. So God works in mysterious ways. When I lost her, I went into this deep drought and depression. The only thing that kept me alive was knowing that I was okay because God had me. But my life was still all over the place. I did all kinds of stuff that most people do when they're 20, and I was doing when I was near 30. And I felt like I had lost my way. So I'm turning 30 this year, and I was a little nervous turning 30 because I really like being 20. But I was telling someone really special to me recently that turning 30 is actually exciting now. One, because I feel like I'm gaining my path back. And I feel like when Emily hit me up on Facebook and was like, we want you to come and talk, it made me feel like I had purpose again on my mom's birthday. And I've been so happy the past year or so, but especially the past few weeks, because I feel like my heart is in a completely different place than it used to be. And I feel like I have the space, the privilege, the voice, and the bigness, because I'm 6 feet tall, to make things happen. And so I'm so happy to be here. And when I walked in, I remembered everything, and I had so many memories. And I'm so happy that we can continue this. And I was my 3CI, Calhoun County Coalition for Inclusion, wrote the first LGBT proclamation of Battle Creek. And I recently heard that they did another one at the what? The mayor people, there. They did it there. So I'm so excited that this is still happening, and that I think Emily was just a blessing on this church and this community, because she helped me do a lot of things. So I thank everyone, and I am so honored to be here and so honored to share so much space and memory and vibrant trailblazing. And I can't wait to come back as soon as possible to see some amazing things. So thank you so much. Amen.